Recently, over the past few years, I have absolutely been nerding out on the KPI of labor efficiency. The reason why is because labor efficiency is a metric, a single metric that feeds into many other KPIs that are important to your business. Recently, I've been doing a deep dive study on the metric of churn/attrition. What I've found is this KPI and this metric feeds into a lot of important other variables that makes your business run and that makes your business healthy. What I'm going to share in this video is basically that. How does churn and attrition feed into other metrics? Before I jump into this video, I want you to view this content from the lens of what do you need to do for your business? The name of the game in business in general is how can I increase the lifetime value of a customer or the annual value of a customer, and how can I decrease my attrition? If you can do both of those at the same time, that is a winning formula. So let me go ahead and jump in. I have my notes off to here. I'm writing down here, so I might not be looking you guys as frequently as I'd like to, but I know you're here for the content and not for my ugly face. So here we go. Let's say that you had a monthly churn of 5%. I want to make sure you guys can see that. Cool. You have a monthly churn of 5%. What we can do is if we take 1 divided by our monthly churn in decimal format, this is going to give us 20. Now 20 what? This is going to give us 20 months because we are looking at our monthly attrition. So it's going to give us that monthly variable. 20 months is how long a customer stays with us on average. If we have a 5% monthly attrition, on average, a customer is going to stay with us for 20. Some might stay with us for 40, some might stay with us for 1. But across the board, we can make educated financial decisions on 20 months is the lifetime a customer spends with us. Now let's say that we had an annual value of this customer of $1,500, which in my opinion is low. I think that you should be aiming for $2,000 plus. $2,000 should be the bare minimum of the annual value per customer. So if you have that, if you have anything less than $2,000 as your annual value per customer, really look into what you're doing for upsells, what you're doing for cross-sells, etc. You need to have higher than a $2,000 annual value to your customer. But let's say in this example, we have an annual value of $1,500. Now to find our lifetime value, all we need to do is take our annual value, $1,500, divided by 12 months in 1 year. That gets us our monthly value per customer of $125. We know that on average, customers stay with us for 20 months. And so 20 months multiplied, here we go. So we got $125 per month multiplied by 20. That gets us our lifetime value of $2,500. Now for us, our goal is to have a net 20% profitable company. If you are a smaller company, a net 20% would be horrible. You'd want to be like, if you're a solo operator or somewhere around a solo operator, you should be shooting for 60% plus. But for $1 million plus company, 20% margin is really healthy. So I want you to know that as the goal of you being in this coaching program is for you to scale past that $1 million a year mark. When you get there, if you're having 10% margins, that's like industry standard. 15% is healthy. 20% is like you're the top 1% of the 1%. So we want to be the top 1% of the 1%. So we want 20% net margins. If we know that our lifetime value is $2,500 and we want a net 20, this gets us a net lifetime value of $500 per customer. Now, Alex Hormozi and other business wizards say that you should have a CAC to LTV ratio of a 1-to-5. In other words, for every $1 you put into your marketing funnel, $5 is kicked back out to you. I like to view it as the CAC to net lifetime value is 1-to-5. So for every $1 you put in, $5 comes back. That's a winning formula. So if we take 500 divided by 100, if we take 500 divided by 5, that gets us 100. So what that tells us is we can feel comfortable if these were our metrics of spending $100 to acquire a customer, because we know on the back end that customer is going to get us $500 over the lifetime that they spend with us. So that's a winning formula. Now, one thing that people don't realize when it comes to attrition is that there's a thing called an exponential decay. So your monthly attrition is it has a compounding effect. So if you have like a 5% monthly attrition, you're not necessarily just losing 5% of your customers over a year, you're losing 5% of your customers every single month. So there's a compounding variable to that. Here's what that looks like. You're gonna wanna take, so the formula for this is 100 multiplied by 1 minus your churn to the 12th power. So this would look like 100 times 1, 100 times 1 minus, where's my marker? Come on, marker. To the 12th power. This comes out to 0.95 to the 12th power multiplied by 100. If we run that math, this gets us 54.03. So if we just kind of, for easy math, let's just say 54. So what this tells me is after 12 months, and assuming I get no new customers, I'm only going to have 54 customers left out of that starting value. In other words, you've lost 46 customers. So in the following year, you're going to have to gain 46 more customers just to be exactly where you were at the year prior. This is why attrition is such a deadly disease. If you're not controlling attrition, you're going to keep playing a lot of offense and marketing and like thinking, hey, I have a great customer acquisition cost of $40, but you have a monthly attrition of 15%. Like you're going to lose a lot of customers. So the name of the game is increase your annual value and decrease your monthly attrition, because that is going to be a winning formula. You're going to retain more customers every single year, and you're going to do it at a higher hourly rate to the customers. I hope this information helps. I hope you got value. Please let me know what other content you want to see within this coaching program, and I'm here for you guys. So let me know, and I'll